Loads of fun over here. People get upset and they make a neder. They're not going to have any benefit from this person. So there's two nedarim that we're talking about over here. One is a general neder. He says, Konam hana'atcha alai. Your hana'ah is like hekdesh on me. All right, that's a proper neder. Proper, I mean, it's the right way to make a neder, but you shouldn't make nedarim in general. En ben hamudar hana'ah mechavero, the mudar mimenu ma'achal. Or if the person says, any ma'achal from you is like a korban on me. Two ways to make a neder. Either I'm not going to benefit, and any benefit from you is asur on me, or any food from you is asur on me. Rashi. En ben hamudar hana'ah lemudar mimenu ma'achal. Rashi says mudar hana'ah. If a guy swore off hana'ah, hamur is more severe than mudar ma'achal. But there's no difference. Ela. So on the surface, you would say, what? If I only swore off food, you could give me a lift. Right? Why? There's no food in the car.
What does one thing have to do with the other?
What does one have to do with the other? Right? If I swore off food from you, I could borrow your car. Okay. Right? Says no. There's no difference. The only thing is a difference. Illa dirisat haregel. Am I allowed to walk into your house? The kelim or borrow on kelim she'en osim bahem ochel nefesh, and kelim that you don't make food with. So it sounds like the car is okay. A hammer is okay. Says the Gemara. Hala inyan kelim she'osim bahem ochel nefesh. But kelim that you make food with, can I borrow a pot? No. Why? Because the pot presents itself in the food. Now I'm able to cook. So it's hana'ah ochel nefesh.
Even if you're saying I want to use it in a shoneh way?
No, we're not talking about that.
Okay.
Hala inyan kelim she'osim bahem ochel nefesh. Kelim that they make ochel nefesh. Ze v'ze shavim. They say I can't borrow a pot, I can't borrow a spoon. That's considered hana'ah ochel nefesh. Dirisat. So look in Rashi. Rashi says, "V'kelim she'en osim bahem ochel nefesh, mutar lehashil." He could borrow lemudar ma'achal to somebody that swore off food. V'davka b'makom she'en maskirim kayotze bahem. Only in a place that this type of a keli they don't rent. Aval b'makom she'maskirim bahem kayotze bahem. It's where they rent them. Tenan, we learned behedya the asur. That it's asur. The kol hana'ah she'im lo hehenahu zeh haya mechaser va peruta. Any hana'ah that if this guy didn't give the hana'ah, he would have lost the peruta. Right? Would have paid the peruta. Hana'at ma'achali. That's a hana'at ma'achal. Sharei reuya ota peruta liknot ba ma'achal. That peruta he could have bought food. So if you lent me your car, I would have had to rent a car. I could have bought food. So anything that people rent, you're saving me money, right? So what are we talking about? We're talking about hanaot that you don't rent, and you also don't use it for food. So you can't borrow pots, pans, spoons, plates, screwdriver, okay,
yeah,
and they don't rent them.
You can rent that stuff at Home Depot.
I think they rent screwdrivers.
I think they rent tools. You can rent
not screwdrivers.
Maybe not screwdrivers. Okay.
They rent power tools.
So the parameters of screwdriver, Phillips or Stanley, that's what we're working on.
Something like that. Okay. Right? A brush. Do they rent brushes? I don't rent brushes. That was what they always told us in Yeshiva. A brush.
No.
Right. Hala inyan, a comb. Hala inyan kelim she'osim ba mochel nefesh. Ze v'ze shavim. Rashi. Osim ba mochel nefesh asur af b'mudar ma'achal. V'afilu b'makom she'en maskirim. So a pot you can't borrow. Yes.
There's no difference between somebody who's swearing off hana from his friend versus someone that's
swore off food.
Two things. So any general,
a general or food, they're almost the same.
Or anything that's related to food or rentable.
If I say I'm not going to eat from, if I didn't say, I said I'm not going to eat from you. Your food is konam on me. I can't borrow your car. Why? Because
the car
could be food, and then I'm getting food from you.
So if I'm not going to eat your food, I can't drive your car.
Right. Can't borrow your car. but I can walk into your house,
By saying food, you're swearing him off totally.
right?
The house is rentable, no?
No, I'm walking in. I'm not using it. I'm walking through your backyard, right? But the guy Hana can't do that. Did he start that right? So there's kelim she'eno. Did he start that regel? The kelim she'eno sim b'hem ochel nefesh. Did he start that regel? I look up the inchi. I don't care who walks through my yard. Not a house. It's a field. I like it. Not there. It doesn't bother me. You're not looking at me. I don't have anything wrong there.
What if the guy renting the car to go to the hospital? Taking a car from him to go to the hospital.
What's the difference?
On a particular item, just for this.
Doesn't make a difference.
Why is cars not money that to go on
Because you get money. You pay money for a car. And the money that I would have paid to rent a car, I could buy food with.
anything that costs that something that's rentable?
That's right. That's what Rashi says. Right?
This guy just will not rent his car.
Doesn't make a difference.
Doesn't make there's no problem.
People are not makpid. Amarava, Amani, people don't bother them. It's not even something that it's not like I'm giving you something. I let anybody do it. It says Amarava, Hamani, the Amar Vitur Asur Bemudarana. Even things that people have no issue with, by Mudarana, it's considered Hana'a. Rashi, Vitur. Davar shehaya mevater lechol adam. He lets anybody do it. Ve'enu makpid alav is asur by mudar. That's our Mishnah. Okay, seems like we don't hold like that. Mishnah. En be nedarim lenedavot. There's no difference between a neder, a korban that's a neder, and a korban that's a nedavah. Ela shehanedarim hayav ba'achariyutam. A korban that's a neder, so you could have a neder. Rashi says, neder v'nedava. Mefurash b'gmara neder ha'omer hare alai ola ula'achar zeman hefrisha. First, the guy says, I'm going to bring in ola. Right? It's on me to bring in ola. I have an obligation to bring in ola. And he went to the field. He pulled out the animal. He says, this is my ola. That animal is a neder. You have another guy, he makes a nedava. Right? Nedava ha'omer hare zu v'lo kibla alav. Nedava. Right, so I say, I wake up in the morning. I'm very thankful to Hashem. So something I'm going to bring the Hare alai ola. Moshe wakes up. He feels the same way, but he doesn't say anything. We both go out to our backyards bright and early. Moshe has his sheep. I have mine. I take a sheep. I say, this is an ola. Moshe goes. He says, this is an ola. So my sheep is a neder. Why? Because I already made a neder that I'm going to bring the sheep before. Moshe didn't say anything. His sheep is a nedava. There's no difference between a neder and a nedava. Ela shanedarim hayav hariyutam. The neder, now the wolf comes. 2 wolves. And they eat my sheep and Moshe's sheep. Right?
He's off the hook.
He's off the hook and I have to bring another one. Right? Ela shanedarim hayav hariyutam. The neder I have to replace. Benedavot em hayav hariyutam. Good? Okay. Says the Gemara, Hala inyan balte acher. Hala inyan balte acher. Shavin. When it comes to balte acher, they're the same meaning. I made a neder. Moshe just said harezu nedava. If we both get lazy and don't bring it for shalosh regalim, right? There's balte acher. Rashi. Hala inyan balta acher. Ve'alfa gav de nedava bikra de balta acher luktiva. Right? In the pasuk of balta acher, it only says nedarim. Amar binan lei b'masechet Rosh Hashanah. We learned it in Masechet Rosh Hashanah migizera shava. We learned the gizera shava. It says over there. It says lo te'acher, and then it says neder on nedava. So we learned the gizera shava. Okay, Tenan Hatam, we learned over there. Right, Tenan Hatam, Ezehu Neder, what's a Neder? Ha'omer Hare Alai Ola. Says it's on me to bring an Ola. Ezehu Nedava, what's a Nedava? Ha'omer Hare Zu Ola. He says this is a Nedava. This is an Ola. Uma be Nedarim le Nedavot. What's the difference between the two? Nedarim, Metu or Nignevu Abdu. They were died, stolen, or lost. Chayav b'chariyutam. You have to replace them. Nedavot metu or nignevu or abdu. If they were died, stolen or lost, he doesn't have to replace them.
But if they said this one, I netted, I'm giving this one, it said it's not hayab.
A neder is, you said hare alai. If you said hare alai, you're responsible.
But if you say that you're giving that sheep and that sheep is gone,
You said hare alai ola.
no, I'm not saying I'm not there to give this sheep
It's a nedava.
to what do you call it?
That's how it is.
That's not neder?
That's a nedava.
It's a nedava.
Minani mili. How do we know that a neder is ba'hariyuto? The Tanu Rabbana, maybe once you say hare zu ola, you mekayem your neder. The Tanu Rabbanan v'nirsa lo lechaper alav. Right? It says v'samach yado al rosh ha'ola v'nirsa lo lechaper alav. Right? Rabbi Shimon omer et she'alav hayav ba'hariyuto ve'et she'eno alav eno hayav ba'hariyuto v'nirsa lo lechaper alav. Right? The one that's on him, he has to replace. My mashma, it's like that. Amar Rabbi Yitzchak bar Avdimi, kivan da amar alai, when he said it's on me, keman da ta'ina chat vedam, he accepted the responsibility for this korban on his shoulder. He put the animal on his shoulder. It's my responsibility to bring it. Not the animal, the korban. Look in Rashi. Et she'alav chayav be'achariyuto. The one that's on him is responsible. Hachi darish lo lekra. V'nirsa lo nedro l'chshiyitkaper bahem. His neder is appeased, it's accepted, when they were mechaper with the dam on the mizbeach. Right? Havya nirza. Avo mekame chapara. Before they put the dam on the mizbeach, lo nirza. He wasn't favored from his neder. Ube'eze korban amarti lecha. On which korban am I telling you that v'nirsa lo lechaper, that the nirsa only comes with the mechaper when they actually put it on the mizbeach? Otoshe alav, the one that he said alav. V'nirsa lo lechaper, kama alav. When are you nirsa? When are you favored from your neder? Alav, lechaper. When they mechaper. And in which type of korban do you have to wait until the blood hits the mizbeach? Alav, the one you put on your shoulder.
Which is what?
You can't just give it to the Bet HaMikdash, let them handle it. Once you drop it at the door, it's not good enough.
If they blew it,
So,
your headache.
got to bring another one.
That's right. You speak to your friendly Kohanim.
That's the definition.
Right?
That's neder.
That's
Neder.
neder.
Which is the definition of ahrayut.
Right.
So that I can just drop it and go.
If you made a neder, no.
So that.
Nedava, you need.
Huh?
Nedava.
Depends what you did. Morning, Mr. Hanun. My mashma. Right? My mashma, the alav, kabbalat, harayut, alav. Okay. Says Gemara, En ben zav haro'eh shter iyot l'ro'eh shalosh. Ela korban. So now we get into the heavy stuff. En ben zav haro'eh shter l'ro'eh shalosh ela korban. So you have the zav and zava. Right now we're talking about zav. Zav is a man that has discharge. It's not shekvat zera. It's zav, liquid. It's liquidy, more liquidy type of stuff. It's sickness. Boss, I don't know exactly what it is. Right? So the guy is giving some sort of. They have it. We don't know exactly. Right?
We don't know what it is today.
I'm sure people know what it is. I don't know what it is. Right? En ben zav haro'eh shteriyot l'ro'eh shalosh ela korban. So this, if a zav, the rule is like this. If zav sees one time, it's not serious. He's like a balkeri, right? He's a regular tumah. Go to the mikveh. See you in the morning. But if see you at night actually. If a zav sees two re'iyot, then he becomes a real zav. A zav is much more tameh. He's like a nidah. What does it mean? If he sits on a chair, the chair becomes like an avatuma, right? He's metameh mishkav and moshav, and he needs fidat sheva nekiyim. He needs to count 7 clean days. Let's open up the Chumash. Sometimes he needs a korban and sometimes he doesn't. Open up the Chumash. We'll see. No, with 3. We're going to see. In Parashat Shemini, Mitzorah, at the end of Mitzorah, page 628. וידבר אדוני אל משה ואל אהרון לאמור, דברו בני ישראל ואמרת להם, איש איש, כי יהיה זב מבשרו, זובו טמא הוא. וזאת תהיה טומאתו בזובו, רר בשרו את זובו, או החתים בשרו מזובו, טומאתו היא. כל המשכב אשר ישכב עליו הזהב יטמא, וכל הכלי אשר ישב עליו יטמא. ואיש אשר ייגע במשכבו, if you touch the משכב of the זהב, יכבס בגדיו. יהיה טמא, your clothing is טמא, ורחץ במים וטמא עד הערב. היושב על הכלי אשר ישב עליו הזהב, יכבס בגדיו, ורחץ במים וטמא. והנוגע בבשר הזהב, יכבס בגדיו, ורחץ במים וטמא. וכי ירוק הזהב בטהור, הספיץ עליהם, וכיבס בגדיו, ורחץ במים וטמא עד הערב. כל המרכב אשר ירכב יטמא, כל נוגע בכל אשר תחתיו יטמא. Then it says, וכלי חרס, okay. Then it says, in פסוק י"ג, וכי יטהר הזהב מזובו, וספר לו 7 ימים לטהרתו. He should count 7 days for his tahara. וכיבס בגדיו, wash his clothing, וספר במים חיים וטהר. ביום השמיני, מקווה. ביום השמיני, on the 8th day, ייקח לו, he takes שתי תורים, או שני בני יונה.
The Chabez Begadav is also in the it's not the washing machine.
That's right.
So why the Chabez Begadav?
The clothing is tameh. Right? Uba lifnei Hashem. El petach moem tameh kohen. 2 birds. ועשה אותם הכהן אחד חטא ואחד עולה וכיפר עליו הכהן לפני השם מזובו. He's מכפר them. Right? says the Gemara. אין בין זהב הרואה 2 ראיות. ורואה 3. There's no difference between a zav who sees twice and a zav who sees 3 times. Ela korban. The only difference is the korban. Rashi says, what's these 2 riyot? Like the whole lifetime? You got to keep track. I saw Riyaz when I was 16, right? And now I'm 37. That's number 2. Biyom echad, on the same day. Or b'shnei yamim ritzufim, or 2 consecutive days. V'chen shalosh, and when we're talking about 3, it's either biyom echad, or b'shlosha yamim ritzufim, or shtayim biyom echad, echad lemachad, or 2 in 1. Says Gemara. So what's this? What is it the same for? The difference is korban. So it comes out, you see 2, you're fully tameh, no korban. You see 3, you're fully tameh with a korban.
3 in 3 days, regardless of how it was. 3 in 1 day, 3 between 2 days, 3 between 3 days.
Right.
That's what.
Correct.
There's no.
But if you have 2, and then a day, and then 1, it's not 3.
Oh, that doesn't count. It's not 3
No.
3 days.
Consecutive.
No, it has to be consecutive. Hala inyan mishkav u'moshav. That it's metameh mishkav and moshav. V'sfirat shiva. And then in order to get out, you need 7 clean days. Zev v'zeh shavim. 2 and 3 is the same, which is not the same by Zava. Zava also is, she needs 3 days. But Zava, 2 days is still like 1 day, certain ways. I mean, she doesn't need 7 clean days after 2 days in the Zava de Oraita. We'll get there.
Now, a guy is get it only 1 time. He's also metameh or just 2?
No, he's like a Balkari.
Okay.
Balkari is not a city. Rashi, Mishkav u'moshav. Shachav u'yashav al gabe 10 begadim. Mishkav u'moshav works without touch. Right? He sits on 10 blankets. Ze al ze, one on top of the other. Kulan abot hatuma. They're all avatumas. Va'afilu lo naga bahem, even though he didn't touch them. Ve'ilu naga bedavar she'enu mishkav u'moshav. If he touched something that's not mishkav u'moshav, he touches a cup, right?
Begad is not like you said. Why is it hayav?
Blankets are made for lying on.
Begadim, you said, no?
Begadim is something that you sit on. Clothing, you sit on your clothes. Eno ela rishon letuma. If he touches a cup, it's a rishon.
As opposed to an app.
Right. The eno metame adam vechelim. It won't be betame people and kilim. Ela ochlin umashkim. It won't be betame food. Right. V'sfirat shiv'a. Mi shivsok, when he stops his ziva, tzarich lemnot zayin nekim, he has to count 7 clean days. Kodem shi'etbol. Ve'im ra'a zov, if he saw zov be'echad mehem satar kol ha'miruyin. Yeah, he says to start over. Right. Says the Gemara minhani mili. How do we know 2 and 3 and so on? Rashi minhani mili de shavin letumah ve'en shavin lekorban. Tetanu Rabbanan Rabbi Simai Omer. Mana katuv 2 ve'kera'ot tameh. 3 ve'kera'ot tameh. So look back in our Pesukim on 628. So it says in Pasuk Bet, Daberu b'nei Yisrael v'amartem alehem, ish ki zav mi besaro zovo tamehu. Zav zovo, 2, tamehu, he's tameh. Then it says, vezot tiyeh tumato bezovo, 1. Rar besaro et zovo, 2. O echtim besaro mi zovo, 3. Tumato he. 3, and then he's tameh. So is he tameh with 2? Is he tameh with 3?
What she said on the start.
What do I? We're going to learn it now. Whatever Rashi's going to get it from here.
Okay. He is the Rashi.
This is the source. Rashi, Mana katuv 2, ואיש כי יהיה זב מבשרו זובו תמהו. הרי 2 זיבות מנויות, כאן you have 2, וקרעו טמא. 3 וקרעו טמא. דכתיב וזאת תהיה טומאתו בזובו. רר בשרו את זובו, או החתים בשרו מזובו. הרי לך 3 וקרעו טמא, טומאתו היא. says the Gemara, הכיצד? 2 לטומאה. 2 makes you fully טמא. ושלוש לקורבן, and 3 is for the korban. Says the Gemara, what do you mean? Why? Ve'ema 2 letuma ve'lo lekorban. Maybe 2 you tameh, but you don't have to bring a korban. Shalosh lekorban ve'lo letuma. If you have 3, you bring a korban, but you're not tameh. Amarta, you said, ad shelo ra'a shalosh, ra'a 2. Hey, you already saw 2. So if you see 3, how can you not be tameh?
Rabbi,
Right?
how do you know that Pesach Bet and Gimel here is one's talking about Tumah, one's talking about Korban?
Huh?
How do I know in the Pesukim one's talking about Korban versus?
We don't. There's not.
Okay, so there's no difference.
We know there's a korban. There's 2 and there's 3. Must be.
How do I know there's a Korban?
It says it at the end. The last Pesukim. Shte Torim. Okay. The Amar. Okay, so that question is gone. Rashi. Harashtayim. He already got in there. But the last Ziva makes it better. It's impossible. The Amar, let's say as follows. 2 lekorban velo letuma. 3 af letuma. Maybe you say the opposite. If you see 2, you still don't have the full mishkav, moshav business, right? But you have to bring a korban. 3, you need 7 clean days, mishkav, moshav. Maybe the korban comes first. Who told you that the heavy tumah comes first? Maybe the korban comes first.
So if you saw 2, you still have to
Where
bring a
else does
korban.
that
You don't have
happen?
to bring a
Nowhere.
korban. You saw 2, you don't have to bring
No, we say Mishnah says 2 doesn't need a korban, 3 needs a korban. Let's say 2 needs a korban, but doesn't not mitamim mishkav u'moshav. 3 is mitamim mishkav u'moshav with a korban.
But who said that that you're anticipating that that one's gonna happen?
We're not anticipating anything. Who told you that the korban comes second? Maybe the korban comes first.
Isn't the korban
Why
comes
would you bring
after?
korban if you're not tameh?
I'm tameh, but I'm not the full level tameh.
Isn't korban? That's when after the tumah you bring a korban.
That's right.
So how do you want me to give two and then mitameh after, and then what are you gonna do?
No. Meaning, even if you only have 2 and you don't have the full level tumah, maybe you still have to bring a korban.
The third one comes and you have
Third
to
one
7
comes-
days tumah without korban.
No, then you'll bring a korban too.
Also korban.
Yeah, of course. Right? Says
You
the
wait the 3 days
that
before you.
you wait all the days before you bring a korban. So it comes out that everybody, according to the way we have it, everybody's tameh, not everybody brings a korban. Or you could say everybody brings a korban, not everybody's fully tameh.
Not everybody,
told-
only
who-
2.
Obviously,
Two
meaning
and
2 and 3.
2 and 3.
Right? Says the Gemara. Lo sal kadaitach. You can't say like that. Why? Titanya v'chiper alav hakohen lefnei Hashem mizovo. Right? That's the last pasuk on 6:30. V'asa kohen echad chatat v'ha echad ola v'chiper alav hakohen lefnei Hashem mizovo. I know what he's working on. I finished a whole parasha about zovo. Where's the mizovo? So it's telling you mizovo miktzat zavin mevi'im korban. Umiktzat zavin and mevi'in korban. Mizovo means some of the zavin. Some of the zavin bring a korban. That only works if 3 does and 2 doesn't.
3 does, 2 doesn't.
But if 2 and 3 bring it, then all the zavim are bringing a korban. Right.
Maybe you can understand the second and not the third. Mizovo to understand the
That,
second
you
one.
can't say that. It says
Right.
hakeitzad. We'll get
Part of it.
hakeitzad. Ra'a shalosh mevi. 2 eno mevi. O eno ela ra'a bet mevi. Ra'a shalosh eno mevi. There you go, Moshe. Amarta ad shelo ra'a shalosh ra'a 2. Once he became chayav in the korban, when he saw 2, how did the third one get him out?
Mizovo, what do you mean?
Again, but it does. It's not logical to say that you need it at 2 and not at 3. You already became chayav at 2, and you didn't bring it.
Okay, that's the third. That's why Mizovo hayab the second. And go back
Again,
to-
but it's not a logical position. It's much more logical to say you only chayav it. Says the Gemara. So now I have two limudim. That you only have to bring a korban after 3 and not after 2. One is that it counted 2 and called them tameh, counted 3 and called them tameh.
Yeah, but
That's-
also that means food
that's-
is going to be reserved for Tum'ah.
Yeah,
Not there yet.
right. That's Rabbi Simai. And then you have this braita that says mizovo velo kol zavim. Right. The itzterich the Rabbi Simai of 2 and 3. The itzterich mizovo. I need them both. The e mid Rabbi Simai have amina kikushan. Maybe 2 brings a korban and 3 is also tameh kamash malamizovo. That not all the zavim bring a korban. The e mizovo, if you tell me not all the zavim bring the korban, so I'll know. The full zav doesn't brings a korban, less than that doesn't, but I don't know, right? Maybe it's 5 and 6. I don't know how many it is.
2 and 3.
Kamash well under the BC. That's why the BC came. He came to put numbers to the fact that not all the zavim bring, but I don't know how many times you got to see.
I mean, this about 2 1 pasuk, 2 3 in the pasuk is from us. It's not from.
No, it's the BC. But again, I need you to tell me what the 2 numbers are, and then I need Mizovot to tell you how to learn them. Are all the zavim being tameh, or all the zavim bringing a korban? Kamash wala Mizovot. Not everybody brings a korban.
We learned it from the pasuk, though, the pasuk gima, that it's
Wow.
3.
Yes, but it could have been. You could have done the opposite, right? You could have said there's 2 and 3. 2 and 3 bring a korban, and 3 is mishkavu moshav. So that's why I need mizovo to tell you no. What not everybody does is bring the korban. Everybody's done it. Tahashta da amar mizovo lidrasha, right? So you have, it says over here, right? Mizovo, not all the zavim. So there's another mizovo. It says v'chi etar hazav mizovo magdarshat be. Right, that's pasuk yud gimel. V'chi etar hazav mizovo v'safar lo shivat yamim letahurato v'chibes begadav v'rachat pesov v'chayiv l'taher. What do you mean mizovo? V'chi etar hazav. Obviously, what's he becoming tahor from ziva? All right, so what's the drasha? The hash that the amar that you're telling mizovo lidrasha. V'chi etar hazav mizovo my darshat. What are you learning from that? Haomi ba'ileh l'chtetanya. V'chi etar hazav l'chshiyfsok. When he stops, l'chshiyfsok mizovo. Mizovo v'lo mizovo v'nig'o. Let's say the guy is a zav and a mitzorah at the same time. He's really blessed, right? So if he goes to the mikveh as a zav, he's so overwhelmed with tumat mitzorah. It's a point. No point, right? It's not. He can't eat terumah. Can't do nothing, right? So maybe he doesn't. Maybe he can't even count. Maybe being a mitzorah precludes you from counting 7 clean days.
Oh.
Right? Says the Gemara.
What's he gonna do? If the Mesorah is stronger, so he goes to the mikveh as a zav, big deal. What's
Doesn't help him. Nothing. Exactly.
What's he gonna do?
So
Even if he counts, what's the
v'chi
question?
let's see. L'chshiyachsot mizovo v'lo mizovo v'nig'o. Mizovo v'safar. Mizovo v'safar. Mizovo v'safar. Limed al zav bal shter iyot shetaun sfirat shiv'ah. Right? Mizovo v'safar teaches me that a zav, he's not a full zav. He's a mizovo. Right? He also has to count. Mizovo v'safar. Limed al zav ba'al shteriyot, even though he only saw 2, shetaun sfirat shema. He needs 7. But before we get to that, let's see Rashi.
But that means if he's a Mesorah, he has to count anyway.
Let's see, 1 second. Mizovo v'lo mizovo v'nugo. Look in Rashi. She'emaya zav umtzorah, if he was zav and a mitzorah. Upasak mizovo, and he stopped having his zov. V'lo netrapa adai minigo, but the tzara didn't go away. V'safar. And omrim lo, we don't tell him. And sefira zu nikiyu. It's not really clean. Achi etar af mi nego, till he becomes out also from the nega. Ela mone ve'olech miyad. He starts counting now. Ve'ole lo lesfirat zovo. It counts for his firat zov. Olech shitrape mitzara'ato. If he gets better from his sarat, yitvol miyad tevilah rishona shel mitzorah. He can dip the first tevilah of the mitzorah right away. V'hi ola lo letvilat nig'o v'zovo. And it counts for his first mitzorah tevilah and for his zivat tevilah. V'netar, and it'll be tahor from the things that a zav has that a mitzorah in that interim process doesn't have. Militamer mishkav u'moshav, or militamer kli cheres beheset kedin zav. Ve'af al pi shetzarich lesfirat shiv'a letzara'ato. Hare, now he's in the beginning of parasha mitzorah, where he still has to count another 7 days, and then he brings the birds and the whole 9 yards. Le'inyan achilat kadashim ve'tevilah shniya kedechti b'mitzorah. ורחץ במים ותאר ואחר יבוא למחנה וישב מחוץ לאוהלו 7 ימים ביום השביעי יגלח את כל שערו ורחץ it actually could be bringing the birds right away. ahani tevilah kamaita, the first one helps לתהרו מלטמא משכב ומושב. He's not מטמא משכב ומושב וכלי חרס בהסת.
But it's still a mitzvah.
He's in the tahara process of a mitzvah, but the heaviness of the mitzvah he doesn't have. Because the point is like this: as soon as the tzarat goes away, he doesn't need to start counting 7 days. He counted them already, so he goes to the mikveh right away. Now he's a mitzvah in the tahara process, but he has no ziva,
But he can sit on anything and nothing.
and it's not a problem.
So
So he's not tameh anymore.
He's somewhat tameh, but not so tameh.
Not fully.
And he's not even tameh mitzvah.
Tzarat could last a long time.
It could not also, but the point is, as soon as a tzarat guy, he has his nega, he started counting. Okay, good. I got my 7 days in. Now just keep looking. Goes waiting right in the mikvah. Otherwise, you tell me, no, you can't start counting until this goes away. It's an extra week.
Now, why would I think that they count? There's two separate zavim.
It says v'chi tar hazav, when the zav is tahor. Could you call this guy tahor?
No.
He has sarat. Mizovo. I'm only worried about ziva.
That means the two.
I could separate the two. I could
But they
separate
can
the two.
overlap.
Right.
The two countings can be
Right,
can
right, same
overlap.
thing. Okay,
Only from mizovo.
mizovo. Now the Gemara says
Not tameh?
it's tameh, but again, it's not
It's not
stopping.
tameh,
It's not stopping me from counting.
Good, but I'm saying when
Of course, he's tameh.
once 7 days is over, the zav is not metameh.
He is
To add
mitameh.
some-
He's
to
mitameh.
add
He's
zav.
mitameh until he goes to the mikveh, and he can't go to the mikveh until he stops doing mitzvah.
I just don't.
But I don't have to count 7 days after the tzara goes away. Says the Gemara, mizovo v'safar limed mizovo v'safar. Mizovo, even though he's only a partial zav, he's not a full zav. He's a mizovo. He's only a partial zav. V'safar, he still has to count. Limed al zav ba'al shtere iyot shetaun sfirat sheva. He has to count 7 days. V'halo dinu chauratz kal v'chomer. If he's so tamed, he's metamim mishkav u'moshav. Lo yeh ta'un sefirat shiv'ah. You shouldn't need to count 7 days. Right? Says the Gemara, shomeret yom keneged yom tochiach. A zava who's a shomeret yom keneged yom will prove not like that. Shemetame'ah mishkav u'moshav ve'ena te'una sefirat shiv'ah. Right? In the zava de oraita, right? There's nida and there's zava. Nida is when she sees when it's expected. Zava after the 18 days, right? And the zava is when she sees in the 11 days ben nida le nida, which we'll get to later, right? But when you see when the lady sees in those 11 days, it's shelo be'et nidata. So she sees one day she's a full zava. She only has to. The next day is clean. She goes to the mikveh. She sees 2 days. One clean day, she goes to the mikveh. It's only if she sees 3 days consecutive dam that she's a zava gedolah and she needs 7 clean days. So you have a case by zava where she's mitamim mishkav u'moshav, yet she doesn't need 7 clean days. So just because somebody is mitamim mishkav u'moshav doesn't mean he needs 7 clean days.
So for women, is 1 day will be metabam
Mishkav u'moshav and 1 day.
Even 1
So you see, it's not clear. What?
That the severity of the that's is also has an effect on how many days that needs to be waited.
That's a havamina, yes.
Now, a zav and a zava is the same.
No.
You said before.
They're different. See,
Because zava you said is blood, and zav you said is something else.
right. Zav is not blood. It's a white discharge. That's not shechvater.
They have the same. They're related, or they're
Not
not.
related.
It just happens to be the same name. Male
Are
and
men and
female.
women related? Is anything that has to do with men and women related? Almost not.
No.
But
Better be careful, Rabbi.
Who?
It's being recorded.
the Sela. Oh, the Sela. What they did after we donated the tzela, we have no idea.
They're not responsible.
Says Gemara. ואינה טעונה ספירת שבעה. ואף אתה אל תטמע על זה, don't wonder about this. שאף על פי שמטמא משכב ומושב, לא יהיה טעון ספירת שבעה. תלמוד לומר מי זובו וספר. מקצת זובו וספר. לימד על זה בעל שטריות שטעון ספירת שבעה. אמר רב פאפא לאביי. מה ישנה היי מזובו דמרבי בזהב בעל שטריות? ומה ישנה היי מזובו דממעט בזהב בעל שטריות? Well, how come when it says Mizovo v'safar, we say even the one that had some ziva has to do? So it comes out not only does a 3 have to count, even a 2 has to count. And when it comes to v'chiper alav lefnei Hashem Mizovo, why don't you say it's even the 2 guy
Get korban.
has to bring a korban? Instead, we say no, some zavim do and some zavim don't. So it comes out that the second one, Mizovo. Lefnei Hashem mizovo v'mema'et, and mizovo v'safar v'marbeh. Be consistent. Is mizovo a mi'ut or is it a ribui? Right? Amal Papa la'abaye. Ma'ishna hai mizovo demarbi be'zav ba'al shteri'iyot. U'ma'ishna hai mizovo, and this mizovo demema'et be'zav shteri'iyot. Amar lei, he told him, Isal kadaitach. If you would think, hi lema'otehu de'ata, that the one when it says Mizovo v'safar is coming to be b'ma'et. Lishtok kramine. Let the Torah not write it. V'chi teima at yamidina. I would learn it from a Kal Vachomer. Shomeret yom keneged yom tochiach. It's not true. I learned it from Shomeret yom that just because you metameh mishkav u'moshav, you don't need 7 clean days. Right? So if you wanted to tell me that is I don't need 7. Shomeret Yom doesn't need 7 clean days, right?
Here we do need.
1 second, because we're learning it from Mizovo v'safar, right? If it would say v'chi yitar hazav v'safar lo shevat yamim letahorato, I would say it's only a zav ba'al shalosh riyot. What are you telling me, Mizovo, to include the miktzat ziva? V'chi teima, what are you going to say? Atya midina, that I would learn, that I'm going to learn without mizovo to be mimayed, I would have learned it from Kal Vachomer. It's not true. There's no Kal Vachomer. V'chi teima hami ba'ile mizovo v'lo mizovo v'nigro. No, you have to write v'chi etar azav mizovo anyway, because I needed to tell me that not if he has sarat, even if he has sarat, he could count clean days. Imken lichtov akra v'chi etar hazav. Right, v'chi etar hazav, and don't write mizovo, because once you, it could have said v'chi etar. I know what v'chi etar is. I know we're talking about hazav. It's in the middle of parashat ziva. So if you would have said v'chi etar hazav, I would say when he stops having ziva. I don't need mizovo to tell me v'lo mizovo v'nigo. It flows well, but I learned it from hazav. Just write v'chi etar. Hazav is not from the nega. Mizovo is coming to include. I don't need it to exclude. I already have him excluded. I wouldn't have put him in.
Does Zav exclude?
Hazav tells me that he doesn't have to become tahor from his nega, right? V'lishtok mizovo lamali. So it's extra. It can't be coming to include to exclude him. He was out. He wasn't in. It must be coming to include him.
The Zav and the Zovo is extra.
Correct.
The Zav is mema'et. The Zob
is marbeh. Limed al zav ba'al shteri'iyot shetaon sfirat sheva.
It said b'safar shvat yamim. Why do I need all this derashot? It said b'safar shvat yamim. Obviously, taharato. Obviously, has to wait 7 days.
But maybe that's only the guy that saw 3. I don't know.
The guy that saw 3.
Maybe that. New Mishnah. Ready?
The last Mizoba doesn't help.
En ben what? No. En ben metzora muskar le metzora muchlat. There's 2. What happens in metzora? A guy comes to the kohen. He shows him his nega. Right, Jojo. We're going to show you the negaim. Right now, you come. You see the nega. You say, we have to see what the story is. Okay, go 7 days. 7 days. Go. What we're going to wait. We circle it 7 days. Come back 7 days later. It's spread. Okay, now you're metzora muchlat. Go outside, right? So there's muskar and muchlat.
confirmed that question.
Well, I thought the Kohen he always has to tell him to wait 7 days. I thought he can say.
Depends on the case, but a
Couldn't
lot of
tell.
times it's not. It's no.
It's not
Couldn't tell.
Right. Sometimes it's tamei right away. It depends on the case, right? But there's definitely guys that you have to wait a week or two, right? And b'mitzora muskar, limitzora muchlat. So what's the difference? Ela peria or frima. A mitzora muchlat has to grow his hair and rip his clothes. A muskar doesn't have to do that. En ben tahor mitoch esker le tahor mitoch echlet. There's no difference between a mitzora who's becoming tahor from being questionable, muskar, or to be mitoch echlet, being certain. Ela teglahat v'tzipurim, only shaving the head and bringing the birds. The Quran also doesn't apply. So if you look in the beginning of Parashat, Mitzorah, it says, "Zot yeh Torah Mitzorah b'yom taroto v'valokim v'yatza kohen u'mivdra kohen v'ineh 620 nirpa nega tzara min hatzavua v'tziva kohen v'lakach lamitaher sheteh sipurim hayot teorot ve'etz erezim ve'ezov tziva kohen." This is right that day. V'shahat et tzipor ha'achat el kel cheres al mayim chayim tzipor haya yikach ota ve'etz v'shnei tolat. Right, he does the birds, and then it says. V'chibes and pasuk chet v'chibes hameter begadav v'gilach et kol se'aro yishev zeh v'rahatz b'mayim v'taher v'achar yavo lamachane v'yashav mechutz la'alo shivat yamim v'haya b'yom hashvi'i yigalach et kol se'aro rosho v'tzkano gabot einav kol se'aro yigalach chibes begadav v'rahatz v'taher b'yom hashemini. What?
He went in there, he brought a korban,
No,
and then he went into
no, the birds is out on the river. Those birds are not a korban. Outside
Where did he bring them?
in the river.
What is that?
Mayim Hayim. He went to the Mayim Hayim
With the birds?
with the birds. It's not a korban. The korban is coming now. Pasuk Yud. Yikach shenei kevasim temimim kafsa achat bat shenata.
That's the mahlat or mitzgah.
This is a mukhlat.
So why is it only different?
Mukhlat when the Kohen comes back second time?
So Rashi says, look at Rashi. Rashi says, we're gonna say it later. Rashi's gonna say it later. It says Gemara hala inyan shiluach v'tumah. When it comes to the fact that you got to be outside of the mahane, v'tumah, that you have the full level of tumah. Rashi chutz lechomat ha'ir, right? V'tumah kol chomer tumah mor sabra. All the things that a mitzvah does, zev v'zeh shavim, they're the same. V'nan immediately, how do we know this? How do we know that he doesn't need Piriyah Prima by a Muskar? Right? The Tani Rav Shmuel Bar Yitzchak Kamed Rav Huna V'ti Haro HaKohen Mispahat Hi V'chibes B'gadav V'taher. Right? It says by one of the types of tzarat V'ti Haro HaKohen Mitzorah. Right? So they locked him up. Where's the pasuk? Yud Gimel Vav, right?
Yeah.
Yud Gimel Vav, right? So that's the beginning, right? He has Sarat, Uval Arkon, Olech HaMevrakonim, Nega Bor Basav, V'se'ah B'hafach Lavan, Marei HaNega Amok, Nega Tzara'atu V'timeoto, V'mahir Levana Hi Be'or B'Sadeh, V'amok En Marei Mena'or, V'sa'ara Lo Hafach Lavan, V'eskir Kon Nega Shvat Yamim, V'rawa Komishvit, V'ine HaNega Amad Be'enav Lo Fasa HaNega, they put him another 7 days. V'rakom B'yom HaShivi, V'sheni, V'ine Kehanega later, Lo Pasan, V'lo Pasan Or, V'ti Haro HaKohen, Mispahati, V'chibes Begadav, V'taher. What's V'taher? Right? So we say, V'ti Haro HaKohen, V'chibes V'taher. What's V'taher? Look in Rashi. Rashi says, V'ti Haro HaKohen Mispahati, V'metzorah Sheba L'chlal Tahara Mitoch Eskiro. V'lo nechlat. He never got certified. Ketiv v'sefer dekrav ketiv v'chibes begadav. Wash the clothes in the mikvah. V'taher. Midelo ketiv v'yitaher, and he will become tahor. Lishna demikara. He's going on that he was always tahor. V'hachi kamar v'chvar kodem tevilah. Before he already dipped. Hayat tahor mimiktzat tumah shel chol memetzorah. Because he never became mukhlat. He was always tahor from certain parts of mitzorah. What's the certain parts of mitzorah? Piriyam Prima. He never got to the Piriyam Prima that it says later.
So
then he immediately became tameh.
tameh.
He became tameh, but he didn't get the full effect.
Why was he tameh if he never had?
That's what we're telling you, that when you're mukhlat, you're
Because he
tameh.
had the
When you're a muskar, you're a tameh. You don't have the full effect. And what if he has to go to the mikvah?
But there was nothing.
Leo, if he had to go to the mikvah, why is he going to mikvah?
That's my question.
Obviously, he was tameh.
But
So
he
when we're
was
saying
never tameh because he
v'taher,
never had sarah.
but he had sarah, he had a. That's what we're telling you. If you go into the mikvah after being waiting,
The fact that
so
you have a
obviously you were
question-
tameh. You weren't just a safek. You're safek if you have the full effect.
No, but the Kohen looked. He didn't know what it was. Okay, come back in a week.
Again.
Come back in a week. You know what? It was clean.
Thank you, Leo. Wrong. You got you had enough. You had enough that you're tameh.
That's why it was a question.
But it was
even.
nothing.
Why was it?
It wasn't
question?
nothing.
No,
There's
it's
a
never
reason he
nothing.
stays around 7 days.
You
It's
if
a
you need the
question.
mikvah, you would something.
It's never nothing.
You never went out
You
there
need
and
the
tell you
mikvah,
that
it was
they go out
something.
7
If
days.
it's
The fact
nothing,
that he said
Leo, he
throughout
won't
7
put him musgar. He wants to get him. Tell him go home. Thank
Well,
you. Have a
that
nice day.
it sounds like
Because
it's
you put him
because of the
musgar,
safek.
we want to see he's gonna
It's
go.
more than a
more than
safek.
that.
It's more than a safek.
More than a safek.
You're a borderline case.
But
You're
he didn't
quarantined,
reach
that's
the
it.
border.
No, he's on the border and he's sick.
It's inside.
He's sick. He's just we don't know how deadly it is.
He didn't need the vaccine.
Right. Amar lei. No, you always need a mask. Amar lei Rava. Ela me'ata gabezav dechtiv. Dechibes begadav betaher. Again, it doesn't say v'yetaher. So what are you going to tell me? He was tahor from the beginning. It's in the past. He was already tahor. Hata mai v'taher mi'ikara ika. What was he tahor from the beginning? From before. Ela tahor hashta militame klicheres behesret. Afagav dahadar hazi lo metame lemafreya. Says you have to say over there something else. There's no peri alfrima. So you have to say like this. Azav, he counts 7 clean days. Zav and Zava are not like a Nida. Nida is tameh 7 days until the night, even if she's not bleeding. But a Zav and a Zava, when they count 7 clean days, so technically they could count Miktat Hayom Kekula on the 7th day, go to the mikvah on the 7th day. But they're still in like a sudden death relationship, right? So I'm tahor, but if I'll see something, it comes out that I'm really tameh. So day 7 is a very dangerous day, right? So now this guy, he woke up 7th day in the morning, he checked. He's good. He goes to the mikvah, right? He's assuming he's telling. Well, you're going to let him make you kibbeh at this point?
No.
No. It's too risky, right?
It's too risky.
Too risky to make the kibbeh, right? Because if he sees later, you got to throw out all the kibbeh, right? Now,
That's
So-
all for guys that don't.
What happens on day 8?
no, day 8, if he sees
It's
it's
start
from
over
now on.
again. Has to
No,
start over.
no. One second. If he made it to the night, it's good, right?
But
Now,
then-
if he sees on day 8, it's a new tumah. But if he sees on day 7, it's tameh lemafreya. However, this v'taher is telling you that one of the chumrot of Azav has a chumrah that if he moves something, even without touching it, it's like he touched it from the inside and it's mitameh. That's called mitameh kli cheres, which you have to touch from the inside. Is mitameh behesed by just moving it from the outside.
That's on day 7. If he
That's
sees
all
it.
the. One second. That's all the
Other
time
than
that he's Azav. Now on day 7, after he went to the mikveh, and then he moved the kli cheres behesed, and then he became tameh again. So everything that he touched for real is tameh. This one thing we took off of him
That's not
in
tameh.
the in between, right? He one.
So the kibbeh is okay.
No,
No,
he touched the
touching
kibbeh
it.
straight. If he
Here
moved,
he's touching the
if
clay.
he
You're not
moved
touching
the
the
keli
water.
without
You're
touching
the
it from
clay.
the inside, that part is down. So
You're
we
not
took
touching
off
the water.
one nikuda of the tumat zav for the in between period between he went to mikvah in the morning and he saw in the night.
If he
The
does
sheet
kibbeh with the
and the
gloves,
other
it's okay.
items,
What?
sitting and the-
Everything that he touched is tameh.
Yeah.
How about kibbeh with the gloves? Okay.
Gloves and mask.
That's
No,
good.
it's
Part of him. No?
I don't know. Tahor hashtami letameh kli cheres be'eseh. Avagav dehad al chazi, even though he saw again, lo metameh lemafreya. Hachinami. So you have to say now, tahor hashta.
That's with the head.
So it's
right?
not being tameh tahor from an effect. It's tahor from one of the
Humrah.
tumah effects of mitzorah. What's the humrah effect of mitzorah? Tahor miletameh bebi'ah lemafreya. Right? The mitzorah muchlat, the mitzorah musgar, doesn't have tumat bi'ah. Meaning that if somebody comes into the house, he's not mitameh. No, sorry. The mitzorah muskar is metame bebi'ah, meaning we say whoever comes into the house with a mitzorah is in the house. Somebody else walks in and becomes tameh. He's like a med to that effect. Right? He's metame. It's similar, but not exactly the same. Right? Metame, somebody walks in the house becomes tameh. Let's say the mitzorah became was muskar. Right, muskar. Then the Kohen comes and he says, great. Yeah, 7 days, you're good. Then it pops back. So it seems like the tumah comes back lemafreya, but not the mitame bebi'ah.
And after the 7th day that he told me is fine, he sees after 1 day.
The next day, boom! It's
like
he went to the Lashon Hara convention. You know what I mean? Boom! He came back to catch up on all the gossip. Right? Rashi, Hachanami, it's 5 lines, 4 lines in the wide lines. Tahor the mitzorah, tahor hashta, militame bebi'ah, michumre mitzorah. One of the chumrot of mitzorah, shemetame adam vekelim. He's metame adam vekelim anechnasim imo lebayit. Sheafilu hazra mispahat to pasta it spread v'nitme tahor kedichtiv v'empasot tifseh mispahat ba'or. Ahani le tevilah. The tevilah helps letaher et hakelim haba'im imo lebayit. Lefi shametzorah metame bebi'ah. We learn okay. Says the Gemara.
What happened now after the 7 days?
He becomes tameh. Even it sounds like he becomes tameh in between, but not for tumat bi'ah.
Meaning, if somebody was in the house with him between that 7th and 8th day,
He's not going to become.
tameh.
He'll be tahor.
He'll be tahor because it says v'tayir.
Yeah, not. But if he touched him, it sounds like he'll be tameh. Says Gemara. Ela amarava mehacha v'atzarua asher bo hanega. The tzarua that has the nega in him, right? Begadav yu perumim v'rosho ye parua. He has to rip his clothes, right? Asher bohan nega. The nega is in him. Mi shetzara'ato tuluya begufo. Somebody that his tzara'at effect depends on what's going on in his body. Yatza zeh, as opposed to a musgar, she'en tzara'ato tuluya begufo. It doesn't depend on his body. Ela biyamim. He has to wait 7 days. If you depend on the days, you don't have to do Priyah Frima. Amar le Abaye elameata kol yemei asher nega bo yitma. Why don't you say mi shetzara'ato tuluya begufo hu de ta'on shiluach, right? V'she'en tzara'ato tuluya begufo en ta'on shiluach. Why don't you say the same thing? It says kol yemei nega asher nega bo yitma tamehu badad yeshem michutz lamachane moshavo. Only a guy that's bo hanega, that the nega is in him.
The is muskar?
Is mukhlat. Muskar is depending on days. Mukhlat depends on the nega. The nega goes away, go to the Kohen.
No, but tulay begufa, I mean, if it doesn't grow, it's not...
No, the opposite. It doesn't. The mitzorah, mukhlat, muskar, he doesn't, the Kohen don't come back for 7 days. 7 days, let me see.
But it still have gufo to...
Obviously, but it's not gufo alone, it's days. The mukhlat, as soon as he goes better, he goes to the Kohen.
Even one day, he doesn't have to count.
No. After that, there's counting, but he goes to the Kohen to become tahor right away.
Start counting.
Says Gemara,
Start counting 7 days.
V'chi teima hachinami. What are you going to tell me? Mitzorah muskar doesn't have to be sent out. The hakatani, it says, en be mitzorah muskar lemuchzorah muchlat. Ela priyah frima halinyan shiluach being sent out. Uletmuya bebi'ah ze v'ze shavim. Amar lei yemeh kol yemeh lerabot mitzorah muskar leshiluach. When it says kol yemeh, it's telling you even the kol is even a muskar. Especially yemeh, he's talui in days. Ihachi teglaha v'tzipurim nami, right? Teglaha v'tzipurim. You should also need teglaha v'tzipurim. My ta'amal, right? They take this line out. Teglaha v'tzipurim, my ta'amalo. Why doesn't he need teglaha v'tzipurim? Tekatani em ben tahor mitoch esker letahor mitoch echlek ela teglaha v'tzipurim. Amar Abaye, Amar Kra, v'yatza Kohen ol michutz lamachane, v'hine nirpa nega hatzara'at. It says it became healed. Mi shetzara'ato tiluya birfuot. Who has to do this process of the birds? Somebody that his tzara'at gets better when it gets better, meaning he's ta'or when it gets better. Yatza zeh she'en tzara'ato tiluya birfuot. Even if he gets better, it's not enough. Ela biyamim. He needs 7 days. And even if he doesn't get better, if it stays the same, although it doesn't go all the way away, he's good too. So because it says Vinhine Nirpa, it has to be somebody that depends on Rifua. Somebody that depends on days, he's not included in the bringing the birds either.
He has to wait it out until this.
Right.
until
Meaning that it's
goes.
possible that Musgar can go get extended and stop right away within 7 days.
Right.
So it doesn't make a difference. Still have to wait 7 days.
The Musgar.
Musgar.
Right. Something. And he also doesn't have to get fully better, as long as he doesn't get that much worse. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen. What's the matter, Paul? I can't hear you. You're muted.
I'm still congested. I just want to try to get rid of it.
Okay.
I'm trying not to. Thank you.
Mr. Hanono, have a good day.
Talk about a